Hey, Shalawam, Shalawam, Shabbat. We'll be right with y'all shortly.
Street. The most high. I know your name now. I feel just in the game now.
Oh my God. Oh man.
Psalms, verse 1. Keep not thou silent, hold not thy peace, and be not still. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and the enemy have lifted up the name. Crafty counsel against thy people, they consulted against thy enemies. They can say, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent, they are confederate against thee. Wisdom, you can keep your gold. Bro, didn't sell my soul. Yeah, F your money, I don't need your dollars. My father, I'm yelling, oh, yeah, you right. Cut you up just like a bomb, but my people lost. We destroy because we lacking knowledge. So that's what we do. We gotta wake up and sometimes lose. Our power's the greatest, so we cannot lose. They try to the greatest, but they can't erase us out. God didn't make us to play by their rules. And that's why they make us stay in it. And that's just
The Shah Shabbat, everyone. The Shah Shabbat. Just waiting for the brothers to jump on real quick.
Shalawam. Shalawam. Shah Shabbat, Mashpaka.
Hey, we give all praise to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh Shai, our King. You know, and all praise and glory be to the Most High. And we got to thank the Most High for another Sabbath to still be here to get things right. To wake up our people, to continuously fellowship and congregate together, and to study in His Word. for the growth of our people. Give me a second. I got background noise. Salakia.
That's probably from the lake, from the little river on by.
No, that's one of my bonds trying to listen to the class on YouTube, but it's coming. I hear it. Let me fix it.
The Lord's getting that ready. If everybody can hear clearly, put a 1 in the chat.
All right, I'm back. All right, so anyway, on Shabbat Shalom. Y'all can hear us good in the chat. Hit us with a 1. Shalawam to the sister Wana. It's correct, princess. It's me again. Adiyah Yashala, Marib, Monir Umari. Shalawam, Shabbat Shalom. This class is kind of going to be a couple of places, man. I'm gonna jump around a couple of places, but let me go ahead and give a little intro, right? We got Kamala Harris getting ready to run for president, right? She stepped up in the place of Biden, just one devil replacing another devil, right? And obviously we know what our people are going to do. They're going to run to the polls, right? In the pride of women. We did classes on the women's movement, the women's feminist movement, and things like that. And the great deception amongst our people, not only our women, but our men. So we see what's going on right there with that. But I want to deal with another topic that we bring up on why the Most High says we should not mix our seed with the other nations, right? Because what does it do? It causes confusion. And I speak firsthand because I have, things like that going on around me where I've seen it up close and personal. And, let's take a look at some of the confusion it causes amongst our people for the mouth of those who kind of walk through that lifestyle. So I'm going to bring up a couple of videos. I'm going to share my screen in a minute, and then we're just going to jump into a few scriptures on that. And then we're going to kind of land me back off of what the ambassador Yediah did on Wednesday night's class. So if you didn't see Wednesday night's class that the brother did, which was a very great class, and shout out to that brother, then I invite you to go back and watch, right? So let me go ahead and I'll cue up this video real quick. I haven't figured out how to work the sound on my new Mac. It's not the same as my Windows computer, so I have to pull the volume from my cell phone to match it up with the video. So give me a second. Let me share my screen. All right, let's go with this brother right here. Make sure it plays. Okay, where is he? All right, here he is right here.
Results just came back, and it turns out I'm disappointed. But let me explain why. I've always been told I was half black. As a matter of fact, I was put up for adoption, supposedly because my dad was black and my mom, her family wanted nothing to do with it. So I was pushed to the foster care system. I was raised by a black woman. I was raised by a black man. My sisters are black. My brothers are black. I was raised in a black neighborhood with the black schools, the black church. As a matter of fact, I was always known as the white boy. Every experience I had growing up was a black experience. I remember the smell of a hot comb on my sister's hair, the smell of skin so soft, gospel music on Sunday. I went to a Baptist church. As a matter of fact, I'm willing to bet because of who and what my dad was, like, I could have been exposed to a more black experience. But here's the problem. I never felt accepted by black men. Never felt like place. Some of it's my own doing because I've always felt like I had to measure my blackness based on the perceptions of everyone around me. But I heard a million times growing up, you don't look black. I don't think you're black. You don't know you're black. You don't know who that is. You ain't black. I was told for my hair, there's no way I'm black. That's not black man. You don't look black and white. And so here lies my disappointment. You know, I was kind of hoping that when I opened those DNA results, I was going to see something else. I was hoping that maybe I saw that I was Native American or had Samoan blood or you know, some type of Hispanic or Latino origin or a variety of Asian or whatever it may be. And the reason is I just really wanted to have a culture to fit into. I was ready to go buy me some flags that day. Because here's the thing. I've always been accepted by Hispanics, Cubans, Puerto Ricans. I've always been accepted by Samoans who thought I was Samoan or Hawaiians who thought I was Hawaiian. They've always been ready and ready to welcome me and you know, into the culture as a brother, you know, as a brother, as you know, family. I don't get that with black folks. I never have. It's even today on the internet, I see all the time that if you mix, you know, which is confusing to me because I also see guys say that it has nothing to do with skin color, but it's more about the culture. They say things like, "Oh, Candace Owens, we don't care about that type of black. That's not the kind of type of black we care about. She's not of the culture. She's not for the culture." They only care about folks who are aligned with black culture. Culturally, every experience I've ever had was different. So I can't understand how, because my skin color a little bit lighter, but I'm almost 40 now, and I spent my entire life guessing whether I was allowed to be black or not. So,
all right, we're gonna stop right there. I hope y'all could hear that. I hope that came through clear. Can y'all let me know if y'all could hear that or what that man was saying? Drop a one in the chat real quick. Could you hear it? Tazia? Kun. You heard his eye?
I could hear it was a little choppy, but you could still
right.
make it out.
All right. But basically what the brother was saying was that all his life he grew up in the black community, right? He grew up in the black neighborhoods, right? He was adopted, right? So he didn't know what his lineage was. He didn't know who his father was. He didn't understand any of that, right? So growing up in a black household raised by a black mother and black father, right? He had the black experience, but amongst the black people, he was everything but one of us, right? He was white, he was Mexican, he was Puerto Rican, and he was rejected within our community, right? So we're talking about colorism, right? Which a lot of us suffer, right? And you know, when you sit back and you look at those things and what these people go through, whether they you know, so we're saying in this man's case, he has a white father and a white mother. And because of that hatred of the mixing of that blood, he was put up for adoption, as he was saying. He said, so all his life he was looking forward to getting his DNA results, right? To prove that he was black or to prove that he was Mexican, Puerto Rican, or Cuban, or who did he say? Even the not the Somalians, the
Samoans.
Not Samoans. I was thinking about the Tongan people, right? The people from the island of Tonga, right? So he was looking, he says all those people accept him, but he's not accepted amongst us, right? So the reason why I went there, because a lot of times people are saying that we're teaching hate. And we get labeled a hate group because of the things that we teach, thus says the Lord, right? One of the things he taught us about was not mixing our seed, right? Because of that confusion, right? He also gave us commandments on why we should love one another, only reproduce with one another, so that certain things don't take place, right? So I just wanted to kind of pull that video up for a second. Sorry that it was choppy. Just wanted to bring out a couple of scriptures just to line up with that. and then we're gonna go into kind of like land me back off what the brother Yediah did over this recent class. So can somebody grab me first Esdras 8 and 70, please?
I'm gonna say this, man. This like
Go ahead.
his story is it's not the norm, man, because we accepting of everybody.
Yeah.
There's other people that won't accept. We bring anybody in, bro. We show love to everybody, you know, to the point where sometimes it's it's sickening the way we accept everybody. We reject our own more than we reject people of other lineages.
Right.
Fine.
And I can understand where that brother's coming from because I got siblings that were mixed. And my counter argument, and not in disagreement with you at all, Zion, but from personal life experience, having two brothers and two sisters that have a white mother, I saw how they were treated in the neighborhood, getting jumped on because they were the white kids, or looked like sisters being light skinned with the long wavy hair, like Ephraimite Magan, or like the brother Katazar over at the UPK. You know, having those distinct features, as well as one of my brothers. When I was back in the streets, his name was Kool-Aid. And he had the Drake effect, you know, the Drake effect with Drake's son, on how Drake's sons look, the blonde hair, blue eyes, and all of that. So there are times in our community where our people will turn up and abuse them people as a way of paying back their oppressors, you know, in some aspects. Go ahead, King.
I think it's more of a point of you got to prove yourself more than we just not accepting you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, we suffer colorism, like just having a lighter skinned sibling, and they really not even that light. That's just what we do, man. It's been beat into us, man, all the way back from chattel slavery, from the lighter skin being in the house to the darker skin working in the field.
Yeah, even to this slot, even to this day, I'm sorry, Lord, but you know, even to this day, we'll make jokes with each other about stuff like that. You know what I mean, you'll call a light skin, oh, you a house nigga. You know what I mean? Like, anybody you see like light skin or acting a little I'm gonna say timid or soft or not more have like a warrior-esque type feel within their body, you'll look at them like, oh, look at this house nigga. I mean, or when you see someone darker than you know what I mean? Like, look at this nigga, look like he's burnt in the oven. I mean, look at this old spot. You know what I'm saying? That's how we treat each other.
Yeah. And I agree with everything we're all saying. You know, I have no gripes or disagreements about what any of us are saying. But even with all of that being said, you know, dealing with interracial marriages, you know, it's a tough thing for a lot of us. You know, I got siblings. I got nieces and nephews that have white fathers, and I ain't gonna lie, I love the kids. I don't hate them. I'm not gonna mistreat them or nothing like that. You know, they're little kids. You know, and you know, just even conversations I've even had back in scenarios. You know, because the scriptures talk about how, you know, this truth will make people hate us or look at us in certain ways, right? Because we're strange or we're peculiar in our mannerisms and things of that nature. So I've even had to have very close conversations, even with my own, about, hey, you guys call me and tell me that, hey, y'all in danger and the kids are in danger. I'm not coming up there thinking about who's who. I'm coming up there thinking about protecting the family. So if all the kids are together and they're in danger, guess what? All the kids are together in danger. I'm not pointing out who's who and saying I'm gonna protect one over the other, because they're one way or another, that wouldn't be the right thing to do. But let's go ahead and where I want to go. Let's grab First Esdras 8 and 70. Let me grab my apocrypha.
You got it, Lord?
Let me grab my other set of eyes, man. All right, this is First Esdras, chapter 8, verse 7. For Esdras had very great skill.
No, what was it? First Esdras 8 and 70 out of one. 8 and 7.
7?
You said 70?
Yeah, 70. Count out of one.
Oh, okay. Count. I was on 7. First Esdras.
Start up at 69.
Count. This is First Esdras, chapter 8, and verse 70. Verse 69. The nation of Israel, the princes, the priests, and Levites have not put away from them the strange people of the land, nor the pollutions of the Gentiles, to wit, of the Canaanites, Hittites, Perizzites, Jebusites, and the Moabites, Egyptians, and Edomites.
Go ahead.
For both they and their sons have married with their daughters, and the holy seed is mixed with strange people of the land. And from the beginning of this matter, the rulers of the great men have been partakers of this iniquity.
Con. So the reason why I bring this up is because this is just an example of how our people followed after the nations, right? I'm not out here to bash any, mixed children because we are the seed of our fathers and who our fathers are. But when we're looking at the way that our people follow after the Gentile nations, celebrating their customs, the Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter, the LGBTQ parades and things of that nature. That was one of the reasons why the Most High, when we went into the land of Israel, told our forefathers to, when he was pushing them out of the lands, the 7 nations that were stronger than us, the purpose was for us to be separate from them, not to be joined onto them, because when we were joined onto them, what did we do? We did wickedness. And we saw that when we were out in the wilderness for 40 years, and the fact that the people were still wanting to serve the gods of Egypt. Now, when we tell our people to separate from the other nations, or that we don't partake in them things, they look at that as hate. Like, oh, we're hating on them. And that our God allowed them to do whatever they want because the laws of God are done away with. And that's not true, which is the same reason why we're going to see our people running out to the polls. And I was guilty of it too. When Obama ran, I was guilty of it as well. Running out to anoint another king of another nation over us in ignorance, right? And that's the same thing that we're going to be doing right now, right? So we have to go back to what God qualifies as love and what is the love of him. And in order for us to get the kingdom, we have to exercise these things amongst our own people, right? So let me just grab a couple of scriptures real quick, and if wherever you brothers want to jump in, please do. So let's go over to go ahead.
Oh, Slack, Lord, I was going to add to your wisdom. What we got to remember is why the Lord didn't want us to intermingle with these nations. And the main reason is because these nations would draw us away from him and have us serving their gods. You know what I mean? So, and then, like, what we got to try to get, what everyone has to understand is that there is more than one God out here. You know what I mean? Yeah, we pray to the Heavenly Father, the God that's in his Bible, in the Holy Bible, but there's other gods out here as well. You know what I mean? That's why he said, thou shalt have no other God before me. You know what I'm saying? And that's why he also said not to intermingle with the nations. He said not to give your sons unto their daughters, and not to take your daughters unto their sons, because they will turn your heart away from me. You know what I mean? Have you praising these other gods? So that's one thing we as a people got to understand. There is more than one God. I mean, it's not one God for every different people. Buddha and Allah is not the same. I mean, you can't say the God that's in the Bible and the God that's in the Quran, oh, they the same God. We all pray to the same God. No, we don't. They're different gods, and we have to acknowledge that. I mean, we got to stop the lies and these half-told truths,
right?
Been given to us as a people. You know what I mean, once we dispel that, then we could gain an understanding of who we praying to and why we pray to him.
Gone out of one con. Let's just go ahead and read on Tobit 4 and 12 real quick. I got it on the screen if anybody needs it.
Where you at, Lord?
Tobit, the book of Tobit, chapter 4, verse 12. I got it on the screen if you want to read it, or if Zion got it.
I got another one.
Got another one.
This is the book of Tobit.
Oh, no, where, Lord?
4. You got it?
Yeah, I got it.
Go ahead, bring it up.
Book of Tobit, chapter 4, verse 12. Beware of all whoredom, my son, and chiefly take a wife of the seed of thy fathers, and not take a strange woman to wife, which is not of thy father's tribe. For we are the children of the prophets, Noah, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Remember, my son, that our fathers from the beginning, even that they all married wives of their own kindred, and were blessed in their children, and their seed shall inherit the land.
God. So again, this is not going against those who have children like that, not at all, because my family is a product of this. But the same reason why we're talking about this is because we have to be aware of all the different whoredoms, right? I was listening to Priest Daniela's class earlier today. He was talking about, like, man, our men and women, they're running over to follow after the nations, running over to where? To the Arab Emirates, right? Going over to Dubai. And the things that our women are doing over there for $1, with the videos that they're putting out there, admitting about the things that they've done over there for $1 and how they felt shame afterwards, right? So when we follow the customs of the heathens, and the Bible tells us over and over not to follow after the ways of the heathens, nor to envy thy oppressors, guess what it does? It brings shame upon us. It brings shame. It brings mental health issues amongst us. All we got to do is look at the trauma that we still suffer from many generations ago after slavery, and the mental health issues that we deal with, post-traumatic stress syndrome, right? And let me read that real quick. It says post-traumatic stress disorder is a disorder that develops in some people who have experienced a shocking, scary, or dangerous event. It is natural to feel afraid during and after a traumatic situation. Fear is part of the body's fight or flight response, which helps us avoid or respond to potential dangers, right? And some of the symptoms of it is vivid flashbacks, feeling like trauma is happening right now, intrusive thoughts or images, nightmares, intense distress at real or symbolic reminders of trauma, physical sensations such as pain, sweating, nausea, trembling, right? So, and let me stop my screen share. So when we look at the whole picture and we go back and look at our communities, what do we see? We see all those symptoms. We see our men hating each other, the women hating each other, our women not loving their children. And I'm not saying all of it happens everywhere, but we see enough statistics that we can see that it has a huge impact on our people by following the customs of America. You guys got anything you want to bring out or speak on that, Zion?
I got a precept just to I'm gonna go to Ecclesiasticus, the book of Sirach, chapter 26. I'm gonna start at verse 19.
Got another one.
My son, keep the flower of thine age sound, and give not thy strength to strangers. When thou hast gotten a fruitful possession through all the field, sow it with thine own seed, trusting in the goodness of thy stock.
Mm-hmm.
So thy race, which thou leavest, shall be magnified, having the confidence of their good descent.
Good.
So this goes into what you were saying, like, and you could look at all of these. You could look at the NBA, man. You know, all of the NBA players, man, who is married to Edomite women, so on and so forth. And now you look at all of their children that are coming into the league that are much more athletic, a whole lot stronger, bigger, faster.
Hybrids.
You know, just because they're sowing the holy seed with the Edomites. You know what I'm saying? They start improving their race. Like, I don't know if it's true or not, but I've been seeing things where they were saying that in Asia, they were asking, you know, they were willing to pay black men to impregnate women.
I saw that.
You know,
I saw that.
and if you look around and you see a majority of the advertisements for different whatever the product may be, you see a whole lot more black men with white women on the advertisements.
Yeah.
Different things that they selling, because you know as well as I know that, you know, so-called white man, he's dying out faster than he's reproducing. So now they understand the science of who we are. We're the representation of God walking the earth. So what they do is they try to mix their seed with us, because they know that they can filter the phenotype out within about 2 or 3 generations. So they'll increase their fertility as well as their longevity and still maintain their looks. But knowing that they, like you say, that they're crossbred, they're hybrids. Right. That's the only thing that they can do in order to try to survive. That's why they don't mind promoting it the way that they do today. When before, you know, they would disown their daughters if they were dealing with black men. Now they basically giving their daughters to black men in order for them to maintain life on the planet.
Con. Even in I think it's China, they paying like 75,000 for some black sperm.
Yeah,
man.
They want that holy seed, man. And you got to think about it. Look at all the information that's being spread around the earth right now about us. They can't paint the picture that we just thugs and gangbangers and drug dealers anymore, because the Israelites are destroying that notion. We're bringing scholarship, we're bringing history, we're bringing solutions to the communities.
That's right.
And it would be even more powerful if in our crisis in our communities that the Israelites were being called upon for what? The balancing out of the judgments of the community. Because without the law of God, there is no balance.
It's coming. It's coming soon, Lord. It's coming.
Yeah,
soon.
I know.
Soon.
Yeah, good. I've seen it some places. I've seen some videos. That's what I'm speaking on. Because our communities, even though it's a small amount of them, they're starting to listen. As I was I don't know who I was talking to, but I just had a situation with a sister that I know, heavy Christian, and she sent me some things to read about a book she was reading. And when I was reading about it, it was talking about the laws of Moses and what God had given to the children of Israel and how they should walk and how they should live and how they should carry themselves, right? And as I'm reading this book, I'm reading it, okay, another Christian book, quoting our scriptures out of context and all of that. But then as I'm reading down on the same page in the very next paragraph, it's talking about that God sent Christ to die for us to do what? To walk after God in his laws through Christ. It's not saying that Christ came to do away with the laws. And they start talking about Christ being a sacrifice for us, our people. This is a black author talking to a black audience, right? So then I start reading like, wait a minute. This person got to know. And maybe they're being a little coy the way that they're delivering their message in the book. But you're starting to see a great awakening amongst our people. And that's a beautiful thing, because without the laws of God or the commandments or the understanding, which is our wisdom, there's no way we can be a light to our own people, let alone to the rest of the earth, the other nations, right? So let's go ahead and I'm going to grab, what did I got? I got Joshua 23 and 12.
Joshua 23 and 12?
Kind of the one.
All right.
You want to grab it, Zion?
I got it.
Okay, good. And let's start up at verse 10. I want to see how
another one.
I don't know if it's showing as well. Okay. Good. All right, go ahead and start up at verse 10 out of one. Wait. Is this what I want? No. Salakia.
All right. While you finding that,
go ahead. Read. Go ahead. Con.
23 and 12?
23 and 10.
Con. This book of Joshua, chapter 23, verse 10. One man of you shall chase 1,000, for the Lord your God, he it is that fighteth for you, as he hath promised you. Take good heed, therefore, unto yourselves, that ye love the Lord your God.
All right, let's stop right there for a second. So 1 man of you shall chase 1,000, right? So these are the men of Israel going out here and laboring in the vineyard. These are the men of Israel going out here telling our people to repent, right? So we're chasing after that few that might be amongst that 1,000. It might be 1,000 people out there like they see in Times Square. Like 1,000 people can walk past you within a New York minute, right? So what are you doing? You're putting out the call. You're lifting up your voice like a trumpet for who? For the Lord our God, right? Why? Because we want him to fight for us, right? Because the Most High had made a covenant with us and he's never broken it. We're the ones that broken that covenant. So we're trying to return back to that promise, right? So what are we supposed to do? Elevate ourselves that we love the Lord our God with all our might and our mind and our strength. Go ahead.
Verse 12. Else ye do in any wise go back and cleave unto the remnant of these nations, even these that remain among you, and shall make marriages with them, and go in unto them, and they to you.
Go ahead.
Know for a certainty that the Lord your God will no more drive out any of these nations from before you, but they shall be snares and traps unto you, and scourges but in your sides, and thorns in your eyes, until you perish from off this good land which the Lord your God hath given you.
Go ahead.
And behold, this day I am going the way of all the earth, and ye know in all your hearts and in all your souls that not one thing hath failed of all the good things which the Lord your God spake concerning you. All are come to pass unto you, and not one thing hath failed thereof.
So when we're looking at that word marriage, right? That word marriage means covenant, right? And that's what the scripture's talking about, the covenant that we form with the Most High, which is life, and then a covenant that we form with the other nations, which is the covenant of death, right? So even this day, a lot of us are still in the covenant of death. Why? Because we're absent of the laws of God and the faith of Christ and the things and the understanding that comes with that, right? So guess what? When we join these nations, what are we going to see? Continuous murder in our neighborhoods. What was the name of that sister that just got murdered recently by that cop? Isn't her name Sarah Massey? I believe that's her name. You guys seen that?
I believe it's Sandra Massey.
Sandra Massey. Go ahead. You want to speak on that real quick, Art?
No, you got it, Lord.
Yeah, so in that video, obviously they came to that woman's house, right? And some people are saying that, hey, maybe she was high, maybe she wasn't, or whatever. But let's think about it, right? She's got a pot of boiling water, right? I guarantee you, if that was me, Zion, or Taziar, or any of the brothers that we know, and there's an angry sister or woman standing in front of us with some hot water, and she tried to sling it on us, we're going to get out of the way as quick as possible to avoid that hot water without having to murder her and shoot her.
Yo, Salak, Lord. Let me just say one thing about that.
Go ahead,
she wasn't trying to throw the water on him, man.
I know that's what they're saying. That's what you know how they do, Jake. They always like they did on George Floyd. Go ahead.
But when you watch the police cam, right? The police cam video, like you see her put the water down, like, oh, what? No, put that shit out. Right. You know what I'm saying? She poured that out. And then, as soon as she said, I rebuke you, that's when he shot her ass.
Yep. Con, exactly. And what the masses are, they're doing the same thing that they did with George Floyd, right? They're trying to say he died or whatever happened to him because he was on fentanyl. So I'm just talking about what these nations who hate us, what they're doing to justify what Esau did, right? So these nations are going to be against us, always. They're never going to love us. They're never going to be there for us. And even when we join on to them, and not saying that the sister did, but we're saying when we're joining on to their different customs and things that they do in America, guess what? They still don't love us. They're still our enemies. They still are going to murder us. They're still going to lock us away. That's why we ought to separate from them. right? Because they're going to be set snares and traps and be scourges in our sides and thorns in our eyes, right? Until we perish. And that's what we still see our people doing, perishing to this day without knowledge. Y'all got anything y'all wanted to say on that? Or build on that or a precept?
I got a precept.
Kind of the one.
Jeremiah chapter 2. Jeremiah chapter 2. Let me find it. And verse 33.
Before the brother go there, I just want to say one thing to the brother Benjamin. You know what I mean? Shalawam. That's shalom. That means peace. You know what I mean? I know a lot of brothers don't and A.O.C don't speak in the Hebrew, but you know, I mean, Lord, I find it to be kind of like rude for you to come on our channel and ask people to try to steer out, you know what I mean, the sheep away. Like that's kind of like off, Lord. So I mean, just think about what you're doing before you do it, Adawan. You know what I mean? Like it's all love though, you know what I mean? My kids watch A.O.C's read and watch. I believe they have good children's classes. You know what I mean? I have no problem showing my child their classes, you know. I used to listen to Bishop Nathaniel as a child when I was at One West. So, like, I mean, it's all love with me, but like you know what I mean? I just think it's rude for a brother to come on another brother's stage and platform and try to move the sheep. Like, I mean, I'm sure you didn't have the right or you didn't ask your elders if that was appropriate to do. And I just think you should be more wise with what you're doing, brother. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and I timed the brother out, man. That brother has done that a couple of times. And I've timed him out. And I just want to read something real quick. This is the book of Romans 15 and 20, right? Verse 19. It says, through mighty signs and wonders and by the Spirit of Yahweh, so that Jerusalem and round about unto Illyricum, I have fully preached the gospel of Christ. Yea, so I have strived to preach the gospel, not where Christ was named, lest I should build upon another man's foundation. So that brother should know that scripture, that he should not be coming over here pushing his camp, building on another man's foundation. General Shar and all the elders been laboring just as long as his oath. And again, shout out and salute to our brothers over at A.O.C. I'm pretty sure that their elder is not going to approve of that, so I'm not going to give that brother much more energy on that as well. You know, but yeah, that's that on that. I put the brother on timeout. Next time I'll permanently block him. Okay. All right, so you wanted what do you say you wanted to go Ak?
I was going to go to Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 33.
All right, give me 1 second.
Want me to read it for you, Lord?
Come on, go ahead. You can bring it up.
You said 2 verse 33?
23.
23?
No,
This
30.
book of Jeremiah, chapter 2,
33.
verse 20.
33 out of 1.
Kind of the one. He right. Salakia.
This book of Jeremiah, chapter 2, verse 33. Why trimmest thou thy way to seek love? Therefore, hast thou also taught the wicked ones thy ways?
So this is the thing. As you were speaking about, you know, following the other nations and following these other traditions, following these other teachings and doctrines and things of that nature. The Most High has given us a heritage. He's given us the law, statutes, and commandments that we're supposed to walk in those ways. And a lot of times we will trim those ways in order to please other people, not just the other nations, but the people of our own families that have gone astray and start following these other nations. You know, following Juneteenth, the 4th of July, all of these different things. We will go ahead and curb what we know as far as being obedient to the Most High, just so we don't look bad to other people, just so other people won't criticize us or critique us or look at us as being strange. But the word holy means to be severed or set apart. So that's what we're commanded to be. We're looked at as we're strange or we're weird if we're not doing what everyone else does. But the Lord said that this is our wisdom in the sight of these other nations. So if we got to look foolish let's look foolish for the Lord.
Done, other one. Done. I praise to the Most High on that, and that's what it is. That's basically what it is. I mean, cut right through the flesh and marrow, trimming our ways to be accepted. And think about it, man. Think about it. What our children go through. They had this term back in the day: peer pressure. Being under peer pressure, we're pressured as a people to, what's the word I want to use? Assimilate into this culture. Growing up as children, our parents gave us rules of things to do and not to do. And as we get older in life, what do? As we learn more and more about the outside world outside of our doors, what do? Like Zion just read, we trim off our ways. The things that our parents taught that was right to us. Anything that they may have known that might have been in the spirit of the Most High, what do? We give that up. Our fathers raised us to be sons and daughters. The world teaches us that our sons can be what? A woman. Our daughters can be a man. I've seen one of them dating videos recently where a woman says, yeah, every man wants an alpha woman. I have never heard a brother or any man say he wants an alpha woman. I've never heard that.
What is an alpha woman?
Right. Yeah. I was just about to ask you that. What is
a woman, a man that goes to work every day and gives his money to the woman, and whatever she wants is what makes her happy. And if she's unhappy, the marriage is not working.
That's a simp. That ain't got nothing to do with the woman.
Right.
Well, that's not really a simp too, though. Like, because some men feel it's a good thing to take care of their woman, and it's not wrong with that. You know what I mean?
Right. Mm-hmm.
You just gotta have wisdom with all that you do. You know what I mean? You gotta have a balance with it.
Kind of. You gotta put it in the context as well. If a man has a family, mm-hmm. and if it's it's his wife's duty to be a helpmeet to him. Mm-hmm. So whatever the man goes out and brings back in, the woman mm-hmm. is supposed to increase it and make it work mm-hmm. for the family's benefit. Right. So if the brother has a family, he give his paycheck to his woman because he knows that she's gonna take care of the bills, she's gonna take care of the groceries, she's gonna make sure that the insurance is paid with it. There's nothing wrong with that. Right. But if you paying for hair weaves and eyelashes and fingernails, now that's a whole nother story.
Yeah, that's a whole nother story.
Good. And that's what I know I wasn't the best young man growing up when it came to the women. I tried, and I made a lot of mistakes because I didn't have a father to guide me, on how to be righteous. Probably the closest thing I had was my grandfather, but he died when I was 12. Everything else in front of me was not something that, as far as being an awakened Israelite, what I had said been the best guidance for me. One of the things I wanted to deal with was going back to what Zion was saying was that we are commanded by the Lord to take care of our families. Don't get it twisted. But the way that this new generation is being taught on what love is and what marriage comprises of is really off. It's really horrible because we can see the fabric of that in the stuff that we see on YouTube. And what did she say? This is the one woman says, an alpha woman is one who tells her man what to do, and she's not going to do, so he's a weak man. Exactly. Oh, okay. And that's what the brothers' reactions were. Right. And that's what a lot of the brothers' reactions were that were criticizing this video. And it wasn't so much that they were trying to attack the sister, it was more or less a correction. And then a lot of them were saying, even in that video, that when they're going into the marriage, they're already preparing themselves that the man's going to leave. So they're preparing themselves and keeping some set to the side for a rainy day. So that's just foolhardy in itself. Let me get a precept real quick. Let me see where I want to go. Let's go to Wisdom of Solomon 1:3.
Another one.
And I didn't really have, chapter 1, verse 3. What? Start up at verse 1 out of 1 and read down to 3.
Okay. This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 1. Love righteousness, that ye be judges of the earth. Think of the Lord with a good heart, and in simplicity of heart seek him. And when the heart was in parentheses, so people know, because he's really talking about your mind. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 2. For he will be found of them that tempt him not, and showeth himself unto such as do not distrust him. For forward thoughts separate from God, and his power, when it is tried, reproveth the wise.
The unwise, kind. So separate ourselves
The
from
unwise.
thoughts. Yeah, kind. So we got to separate ourselves from worldly thoughts, from the doctrines of men, the theologies of Mystery Babylon, which is America, right? Righteousness is the love of God. Psalms 119, 142 says that righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and that law is the truth, right? So to be a judge of the earth, we have to have what? That perfect balance, right? And when you really think of it, if we keep things simple and not trying to complicate things with the word of God, or trying to think outside of what God actually says, then we'll gain that wisdom. We'll develop discipline. You'll see a change in our mindsets, not only in the mindset, but also in our deeds towards one another, which the brother Yediah spoke of, about our behaviors and our deeds, right? Because a malicious soul is one that does not share the mindset of God, right? Let me close that out real quick. Grab Revelations 14 and 2, because, again, it's all about loving our people. We're talking about does God is love and all of that. Well, let's examine how God is love and how we show that God is love with those things. Go ahead and grab me that real quick. Actually, give me on 1 John 5 and 3.
This book of 1 John, chapter 5, verse 3. For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous.
So one of the things we're commanded to do is to obviously simple law, easy laws, the dietary laws, loving our brother and sisters ourselves, not bearing a grudge or any burden upon them, not charging them what is that? Charging interest upon them, not murdering them, things of that nature. Go ahead.
Loving your brother as yourself. You know what I mean? Because you're not going to cheat yourself. You're not going to steal from yourself. You're not going to lie to yourself. You know what I mean? Like you gotta love your brother like you love yourself, man. And always put the Most High first.
Because if we read
the Most High first, then you're going. I mean, it's simple things, man. Like the Lord's, like the brother was just saying, keeping the laws is very simple. You know what I mean? You, as a man, you shouldn't be dressing like a woman. Like that's simple.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's a simple law. Man don't wear woman clothes. Woman don't wear man clothes. But a lot of times these men, they put on women dresses to get a laugh out of the people. I mean, to make some money. So basically, you're doing it for money, which means you have a love for money more than the Most High. You gotta put in perspective who you love and what you love.
Right. Because when we do these things, guess what? According to Sirach 3:34 and 16, the eyes of the Lord are upon him that love him, which is what? Keeping his commandment. And it reads, for the eyes of the Lord are upon them that love him. He is their mighty protection and a strong stay, a defense from heat and a cover from the sun at noon, a preservation from stumbling and an help from falling. That's where balance comes in at. That's how we defeat hate versus love, right? Everybody keeps saying God is love, and God loves, and we gotta love, but there are things that we have to do to fulfill that. I heard some noise in the background.
Man, Lord love us so much. Hold on, Lord.
Is that me?
I think that was a train. Was that a train?
Oh, yeah. Kind of. I was wondering what that noise was. It sound like some music or somebody playing some type of harp or something.
And the thing is, it's very simple, man. We make it much harder than what it really is. A lot of people like to, say that keeping laws are restrictive, man, but it's not. It's in order to keep order. That's it. It's in order to keep everything in order, man. That's all it is. When you don't keep the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, man, you got exactly what you got in society today. A bunch of lawlessness. Everything is all out of order, out of whack, upside down, and not functioning in the correct operational order. Just like the Most High is our Father, all three of us on this panel today are fathers. So if our children are disobedient to us, can we say that they love us?
Nah, the odd one.
So that's the whole thing. It's very simple. If we're disobedient to the Father, we're showing him that we don't love him. And because his reaction is, okay, since you don't do the things that I asked you to do, I'm not going to do the things that you want me to do. Just that simple.
And a thing we got to remember, like in the book of Deuteronomy chapter 30, it say, I mean, he gave us the choice. So if you doing, if something bad happened to you, that was your choice. You bring that upon yourself. You know what I mean? Like Lord forbid, you know what I mean? Lord forbid something do happen, but you know what I mean, we gotta start understanding that the things that we do wrong is the things that we are bringing upon ourselves. You know what I mean? The Lord gave us a choice between doing good and being blessed, or doing things that's wrong and being cursed. I mean, you gotta really analyze. Like, don't ask the Lord, why is this happening to you? Ask yourself, why are you doing this to yourself?
God. Hey, listen, I can remember when I was young, man. I probably was about 10 years old, right? I got a bike for my birthday, man. My mother told me, don't ride that bike to the store. Not ride your bike to the store. Walk to the store if you're gonna go to the store. What did I do? Disobeyed her. Rode the bike to the store. I go in the store. I come out. The bike is gone. Right?
Yeah, boy. I knew you was going there.
So yeah, you gotta explain about the bike.
It's just that simple. My bike wouldn't have been stolen if I was obedient to my mother. Right? So it was on me. I can't be mad at the person that stole the bike. Well, you know, I was upset that they stole my bike, but it was all my fault. And that's what's going on with us as the children of the Father today. The things that we are going through is because we keep adding sin unto sin unto sin unto sin. We have to keep commandments. That's it. That's the bottom line. Once that happens, what does it say in Proverbs 16? He'll make your enemies at peace with you. As long as you pleasing him, he will make your enemies at peace with you. So as the longer we do the right thing, keep the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of our ability, do the best that we can possibly do, things smooth out. Are there still going to be bumps in the road? Absolutely. We still in captivity. But it's not going to be as painful. So the love that we want to receive from the Lord is the love that we have to give to him. It's circumstantial. You know, it's not unconditional. People say God loves you unconditionally. No, he gave us conditions. He said, don't eat this. Don't worship this. Don't deal with these people over here. And once we did it, things went bad. It's conditions. We have to choose life or death. He gave it to us. You make your choice. So once we chose, now we upset.
Done. I just dropped a couple of precepts in the chat real quick. I'm gonna read them real quick. Proverbs 8:36. But he that sinneth against me wrongeth his own soul, and all they that hate me love death. That's real simple. These commandments are our life, and without them we shall die. Remember, the Most High said in the book of Genesis he wasn't going to strive with man forever. Remember, he told one of the prophets to seal the book, and that knowledge shall increase in the last days. So again, when we sin against our brother, we're sinning against our own soul. When we're sinning against the Most High, we're sinning against our own soul. And that's how we show we love death more than we love the Most High and our own people, right? I got another one for you. This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6, verse 18, and I guess it didn't take all the way through. I got it right here, though. It says, wisdom of Solomon 6 and 18. And love is the keeping of the laws, and giving heed unto the laws is the insurance of incorruption. Let me grab the rest of that, right?
Keep going.
I got it. I got to pull it up real quick.
No, I got it, Lord.
Yeah, go ahead.
Incorruption maketh us near unto God. Therefore, the desire of wisdom bringeth to a kingdom. Mm-hmm. If your delight be then in thorns and thrones and scepters, O ye kings of the people, honor wisdom that ye may reign forevermore.
Mm-hmm. God. So by keeping the laws, that let us know that we're not corrupt. When without the Most High's laws, there's corruption going on inside of us. When you have a computer with a hard drive and there's a virus on it, what happens? It causes your computer to slow down. It causes it to lag, right? So when we have that corruption inside of us, guess what it does? It causes us to slow down mentally. It causes us to build up more rage and anger and aggression, not only towards our loved ones, but even the people of our own that are strangers amongst us, right? And there's no corruption in the Most High, right? So we have to go back and review and look at the Most High's wisdom on to have that assurance, as we read in verse 18, of incorruption within ourselves, right? And then I dropped on Proverbs 8 and 17. I love them that love me, and those that seek me early shall find me.
That sounds like a condition to me.
Done.
I love them that love me. He didn't say I love you no matter if you love me or not. He said I love them that love me. That's a condition.
Let's see it. Trying to find that
That sounds like something you say to your woman.
Done.
Think about it.
Done.
Well, the Most High said he's married unto us, right?
Done.
And we can read that in Matthew 6 and 33. It says, but seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. As Zion said, that's a requirement. That's a task that must be fulfilled by us to receive all those things that we want to be added onto us, right? What Sister Wanna said.
If your son say, I want a PlayStation 5, you say, well, hey, you're going to have A's and B's. It works hand in hand.
Done. Hey, kind of, Tazi, I saw your message out of one about your phone. And the Sister Wanna says, she says, I told my son not to get on the skateboard. He got on it anyway, fell off and sprained his ankle. I remember I got suspended from school one time, and wasn't supposed to go outside, just like Zion, not listening. I took my little brother's bike on the day that I was suspended from school, just hiding out, parents don't know, tore the letter up. Back in the day, they'll give you that letter to take home to your mother or your parents. I wasn't doing that because I knew what that came with. I was going to get that belt. And man, bro, I took the bike out there to the suburbs when I was out in Oak Park, and I got surrounded by a couple of Jakes and Esau. Now I'm probably about 9 years old. These high school kids, man, these kids jumped me and took my brother's bike. They jumped me and took my brother's bike. I had to walk back 2 miles, walk 2 miles back home with the walk of shame and trying to come up with every story about how that bike came up missing and absolving myself from it. That's not righteousness. I caused my brother to lose his bike, and he was younger than me. In other words, I pretty much said I stole from my brother because what was taken was a return to him. Disobeyed my father. And that was the judgment that I had to deal with when I got home. The lashing.
Sound like the curses to me.
Yeah, done. The blessing and the curse.
Being under the curse. That's a perfect example of what it is.
And the crazy thing about it is, my dad turned around and bought my brother's new bikes, and the bike that he was going to get for me, he had to give it to my brother. That was the righteous thing to do. No matter how much it stung, it was the righteous thing to do. And if I would have had that understanding of the laws fully at that age, I would have never made that error. And that's why we have to have the same compassion upon our people and mercy upon them the same way that the Most High had mercy on us. And Christ had compassion for us when he died for our entire nation. You see, I might bring out a couple more scriptures and then go ahead and close it out on a short class today. You got anything you want to touch on, Zion, or elaborate on?
I want to go back to Sister Wana's comment about what an alpha woman, alpha female, and I want to show what the Lord said an alpha female is. I'm going to go to the book of Sirach, chapter 26, and start at verse 13.
All right, Slaki, let me catch up with you, one. I'll read for you.
This is what the Lord says that an alpha woman is.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 26, verse 13. The grace of a wife delighteth her husband, and her discretion will fat his bones.
So the key word here is her discretion, not her being loud, not her being haughty, not being argumentative, not dressing, inappropriately. Her discretion will fatten his bones. Read on.
A silent and loving wife is a gift of the Lord, and there's nothing so much as a mind well instructed.
Because this is actually a woman's strength. A woman's strength is being able to be composed, to have self-control, to even when your husband is wrong sometimes at that particular moment, having the strength not to buck up against him or not to try to fight against him or loud talk him or over talk him, because you get more what the old folks say, you'll get more bees with honey than vinegar.
Right, kind of.
So a silent and loving woman, that's a woman's strength. That's what makes a woman an alpha female, is when she knows how to use her strengths. Being argumentative, loud, disrespectful, saying what you're not gonna do, not doing what's asked of you. That's not strength, that's weakness. That's being a weak person. Read on, King.
Verse 15, a shamefast and faithful woman is a double grace, and her continent mind cannot be valued.
So a woman that's like this, you can't find, you can't even say what the amount of value is in a woman like this, because it's very hard to find. What it says in Proverbs 31, that her beauty is worth more than rubies. Paraphrasing. So you can't even put a number value on a woman that knows how to exist and to function in her strength. And that's what the Lord said that an alpha female is.
What was that? A woman's worth? Wasn't that one of the songs, A Woman's Worth?
What a woman's worth.
This is it right here, sisters. And shout out to the sisters that dwell in that. I thank the Most High that I've been blessed with one. Because there are times that I'm wrong, and my wife, what does she do? She's silent. She knows how to give me what I need. If I am wrong about something, I might be misinformed, and she'll politely slide it over to me, send it to me a message, or leave it out there for me to read. And I appreciate that, because I know I couldn't, me myself, I wouldn't be able to rock out with a sister that's the opposite of that, right? And let me go ahead and read verse 16, right? And it says, as the sun when it arises in the high heaven, so is the beauty of a good wife in the ordering of her house. And Zion spoke on it. That is what an alpha woman is. She has the ordering of her house and all those other qualities in order so that her femininity may be highlighted. Your feminism, being in agreement with your husband and not being a battle axe or dragon, is how you exert what we would call an effeminate dominance, or your effeminate nature, right? Because if you're not dwelling in your effeminate side, you're trying to drill in the masculine side. And those two things can't mix. No more than 2 vaginal fluids should not be mixing, because the acidic nature of the vaginal fluids in that type of relationship, the same way it is with 2 men.
I don't know where you're going with that, but
I ain't going nowhere else with it.
But like the Lord said, false balance is abomination. Right. So if I'm dwelling in my masculinity, my lady has to dwell in her femininity in order for it to be balanced. Because, like you said, I don't want. Sometimes with men and testosterone, we become aggressive, and not necessarily physically, but just in our thought process.
Right.
We become focused. We're focused straight ahead, so we're moving in that direction. So sometimes it's hard to stop us because if you come with us in a direct manner, at that point we bumping heads.
Right.
But when you come within your feminine nature and you say, you know what, let me just be quiet at this moment, and then after he calms down or he relaxes, then I'll be able to speak to him, or I can show him where he's going wrong.
Right.
And this is a gift. This is a gift. You hear these women, online with all this gender war stuff. Everybody wants to be the prize. Well, I'm the prize. Right here, this is the prize. A woman that knows how to operate within herself in order to get her man to do anything she need him to do.
Done. That thing where you asked me where I was going, something popped in my head in one of the lessons that General did, and it's probably best that I leave it up to him to break that down. But he was going into the sciences of different fluids. It was one of the videos he did where he's teaching about women dressing modest, and and how they're dressing modest, and the tight clothes and the different things that leads to infections. And then was talking about the secretions when we're talking about the alternative lifestyle, about how those fluids counteract each other. So I was using that analogy of saying that those things that, like taking bleach and ammonia and mixing it, right? That's another example, right? What do you get? You get toxicity, right? Your eyes burn. It's hard to breathe in the room when you're mixing bleach and ammonia together, right? That's the same thing when we're trying to mix righteousness and wickedness. It's going to be toxicity in there. It's not going to mix. Those two things cannot mix. And that's where you have to have the balance of leaving the wickedness over there and the righteousness right here in front of you, right? And that's where I was going with the scriptures right here. What did I just drop in there? For Romans 2:13. Romans 2:13, for not the hearers of the law are just before the Most High, but the doers of the law shall be justified, right? So our justification is conditional by doing the laws. And that's where the brother was going in regards to dealing with the alpha woman scenario, and just overall, just talking about the love of our people and the love of the Most High, and just trying to fix, whatever we can in this little short time that we have on this earth remaining, as far as getting our walk together, And what did our Israelite process princess says? Yes, attacking each other. Done. What else did she says? If the husband is wrong or lying, the wife better put on her poker face. Great one, sister.
If he's lying, it's something wrong.
Yeah.
Like you could be wrong and not know that you're wrong. You could be missing on something, but if you know the truth and you just flat out lying, it's something wrong there.
Right. I'm gonna drop this precept just to land me back off of that right there. Drop this in the chat, and this probably be the last thing I bring out, and then I'll go ahead and close it out. This is the book of Sirach 20 and 24. A lie is a foul blot in a man, yet it is continual in the mouth of the untaught. Which is like Zion said, it's one thing to speak on something that you're not aware of or that you might not have the full understanding of. Another thing is to know that you're lying and to continue pushing that same lie, as we see as a lot of the different communities that try to come up against the Israelite teachers in the Bible. Can we lie to the other nations? Maybe next class. Yeah, we can talk. We can We can deal with that next class. You want to touch that real quick, Zion? Or you want to do it next week?
We'll double back to it. We'll just keep this one in, you know, we'll come back to it. Can you put it's the correct princess's comment back on there? Because she's spot on. See, this is spot on right here. This is spot on. We gotta learn conflict resolution skills. You know, that's the thing. We can't just keep pushing them, you know, just keep on pushing the envelope, keep on pushing the line with each other. We gotta have respect and boundaries and communicate within those boundaries, and then learn how to walk away and come back to it if we're not getting anywhere at that moment.
Mm-hmm. Come.
It's crazy. It's crazy. My wife and I, we were just talking about this a little bit earlier because me and a guy, we had a business disagreement, right? He kind of went back on what he said.
Mm-hmm.
Once we bumped heads long enough, I figured out that he couldn't hold up his deal, and there was a reason why he couldn't do it. But instead of him just coming to that, you know, telling me why he couldn't hold his end of the deal up, he kept trying to say that the conditions were changed. And I'm like, no, it wasn't. But eventually, long story short, he came back, he explained his situation to me, and then we were able to resolve it and move forward. And I spoke to him today because we was having a lot of back and forth yesterday. I spoke to him today, had him on speakerphone. My wife was like, "Oh, y'all homies now." And I'm like, well, yeah, because it's the conflict. I mean, we've come to the point where we've resolved the issue. So everything beyond that it's irrelevant at this point. So yeah, we're good at this point, you know. Conflict resolution.
Mm-hmm. And that's just beautiful, because that's an example of the scripture saying, to love thy neighbor as thyself, and not bearing a grudge against the children of thy people. You know what I'm saying? And that's where unity comes in at. And where I'm going to close out is Sirach 25:1. And three things: I was beautified and stood up beautiful before both God and men. The unity of brethren, the love of neighbors, and a man and wife that agree together.
God.
All right, so once again, I want to shout out everybody who tuned in today. We'll see you guys on Wednesday night. Make sure you tune in Wednesday night for the class with Ambassador Yediah and whoever else may be on that class. And we'll be back on again Friday and next week, Most High will. And on that note, Shabbat, Shalawam.
Shalawam.
Shalawam.